famous cities in the world. New York, a mecca for business, entertainment, and sports. Its unique skyline greets visitors from all over the world, as well as our USL crew, as we bring you USL Breakaway, episode number 3, 2009. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of USL Breakaway. I'm your host, Steve Bell. Breakaway is the show that breaks away from the action on the field to take a close-up look at the people and the organizations that make up the United Soccer Leagues. Here's what we have planned for you in the next half hour. We'll begin at a historic stadium in Queens, New York that has stood the test of time since the 1920s. We'll take an in-depth look at the famous Met Oval and its newest tenant, the USL's Brooklyn Knights. From Queens, we venture across the island of Manhattan to Harlem, where the USL's FC Harlem club provides a unique playing opportunity for several young players in its community. And we'll profile Charleston Battery goalkeeper Dusty Huda, his journey around professional soccer in the U.S., and now he's been able to settle in Charleston. Plus, we'll take a close-up look at Makumbo Kanji and his rise through the ranks of professional soccer in the U.S. The most popular sport in the world is soccer, and one of the most popular cities in the world is New York City, so it's a perfect location for our first story today. Few teams in the United Soccer Leagues have been around as long as the Brooklyn Knights, and one unique thing about this team is the stadium they play in. Built in 1925. Damaged and overused, the city of New York almost shut the stadium down in the 1990s, but today, the Metropolitan Oval is a historic landmark. Let's join Jerry Fall in the borough of Queens.
The Brooklyn Knights of the USL's Premier Development League came into existence in 1998. Their venue has been around a lot longer than that. The Knights play at the Metropolitan Oval, which is affectionately known as the Met Oval, a soccer facility that was erected 84 years ago by German and Hungarian immigrants who wanted the feel of home.
They wanted some feel about the whole country, and in the whole country they used to play soccer. So what they do, around 50 people put $1,000 each, and they bought this land. And it was a very cultural experience for them. They were coming here, playing soccer, you know. They had even the Oktoberfest here. They stopped it the last few years, but they had Oktoberfest in October. This was German tradition, then the Hungarian tradition, plus the soccer. It's a big part of European culture.
And so it was in 1925 that the Met Oval was built. Since then, it has played host to countless games and been the breeding ground for some of New York City's finest soccer talent. Its landmarks are unique, and its view of Manhattan spectacular. In a city famous for its sports venues, the Met Oval is right there with them, as it is the oldest soccer field in continuous use in the United States.
It's amazing. It's a field that, you know, has so many memories. If we could talk, I mean, we could write so many books. And, you know, the greatest moments are when we travel, we go around, and so, you know, we find people and they see the logo, Met Oval, and they say, oh, I play there. So there's so many people that have passed and have had an experience here in this field that is just a magic place. And, you know, it's one of the oldest fields. When you're driving around, you don't even realize that there's a field. And when you enter here, you get involved in this magic that this place brings, you know, with a beautiful view of Manhattan. And there's so many stories definitely in the Met Oval. Not paying attention. And we have one of our biggest games and weekends this weekend. You remember what we said last week? Everybody joking around. What happened after against the Coast? Bah! Huh? And everybody go cry. Let's go.
He's as tough as they come as a coach. Just ask the Brooklyn Knights players. His toughness as a coach is what helped make Giovanni Savarese one of the greatest soccer players to ever compete in New York. Drafted by Major League Soccer's New York, New Jersey Metro Stars in 1996, Savarese went on to score a franchise record 44 goals in just 3 seasons. Prior to his days with the Metro Stars, Giovanni remembers his time playing at the Met Oval.
Games here were just battles. They used to be different. It used to be with dirt, but full of people watching the game. So it was very, you know, for a young player, it was very motivating and just a place that has so much history. So many people play here. The Cosmos play also here, so it's definitely a magic place.
When the 1990s hit, the Met Oval faced its darkest days. It was scheduled for foreclosure by the city after hundreds of thousands of dollars were owed in back taxes. That's when the Met Oval Foundation was formed. The nonprofit organization led by Jim Voigt, a longtime Queens native, and Chuck and Valerie Jacob, two New York lawyers, raised enough money to save the field from foreclosure. In addition, Nike and the U.S. Soccer Federation each contributed $250,000 for a new field and lights.
The history is just being more erased, and then we still trying, to make it better year by year, to having also summer camps to help all these young kids, and to help also soccer to develop here in United States. So of course it's just great things, and I'm proud, to be able to play and practice in this field and be part of the history of the Met Oval.
For USL Breakaway, I'm Jerry Fall.